$43,000 to flip hamburgers. Yep, that's where we're going. We're also going to talk about going to open houses, what it looks like, and what to expect. And Willow Glen House of the Week and Luxury Home of the Week and the 12 Bay Area County Home Report. Let's get moving. $43,000 a year. There's a fast food union in the state of California, believe it or not. It's called the California Fast Food Workers Union. And it's now struggling and urging council members across the state to increase the hourly rate to $20.70 an hour and $21.40 by 2026. Now, I'm all for capitalism. I'm all for doing the right thing. However, what these people don't realize is that the more they get paid, the less hours they're going to work. As a matter of fact, down here it says this lady right here is working a quarter of the hour she used to, right? I'm also not in favor of paying $15 for a Big Mac or a Subway sandwich or what have you. I would rather go and make my own sandwich or my own hamburger and do that. It's just the cost of living here is getting crazy outrageous, and I understand. So that's where we're in this little push and pull. The problem is these people are dependent on this as a paycheck, and they see this as a career. And I don't see working fast food as a career, because what they're ultimately doing is hurting themselves. They're pushing the wage up, but they're going to earn less hours, and they're going to ultimately find themselves out of a job. And the owners of these fast food restaurants, they don't care. If it gets too much, guess what they're going to do? They're going to close the doors. They're going to ultimately unemploy these people, and it sucks. And I don't have an opinion either way. I don't eat fast food, but maybe once every couple months. Just I have a specific diet trying to get rid of my body fat. So I just stay away from fast food unless I'm traveling or what have you. I'll enjoy a burger, but I'm also going to go and spend $15 for a burger at a place where I will be served, not stand in line and give an order. Just not going to do that. And by the way, the burgers that you get at sit-down restaurants are going to be a whole lot better, a lot more tasty, and you can order other things like vegetables and salads, etc. You can get salads there, but obviously there's a lot of processing that goes on with this. I understand the struggle for the Spanish speakers. I understand 100%. My only thing is fast food the career you should be in? There's other ways to make money, and $20.40. What was it called? What was it? $20.70. I understand the desire and the need to get that up there. I understand. There's a huge growing need for people to make a living wage here. As a matter of fact, I have it here. The median income for 2023 is $181,000. So if you're making $43,000 in a household of two, that means you're making about $86,000. That's far below the median price. And that basically pins you into being a renter for the entire time you're here, right? And I get it. You're near family. You got to make a living. This is the easy way to do it. My concern is fast food has never been considered a career unless you get into management. And then you have to know how to deal with people, speak multiple languages. It's a tough thing, right? So it's a problem that we're all dealing with. I don't think this is a solution to the problem. I think what we have to do is teach people how to get a career and get an education and learn to do better. I don't have the answer. I'm not the person. The reason why I brought this up is because affordability in California, along with across the United States, is becoming unaffordable for many, many people. And when people see, oh, I can make $20 an hour in California, I'll just move there. What they don't realize is the cost of living is so much more expensive here than it is wherever they're coming from, say the Philippines or Mexico or wherever. They find themselves in a further deficit, and it's a dangerous game that they play. Unfortunately, it's just the way life is, and it's not going to make it so that people can afford to even rent here. So what they might wind up doing is having to travel from different counties to get here to make their minimum wage job. Kind of sucks. August 17th, 2 whole days ago. Hang on a second. I want to get this over here. I'm going to bring this over here. There's a new form that the NAR requires us to use if you come to an open house. And I want to talk about that a little bit because it's not something you should be afraid of. It's something that you're just going to have to deal with. It's something because of these lawsuits, we're protecting ourselves to make sure that you understand who's being represented and who's not. So when you come to an open house, this is the form that you're going to be required to sign. And in the days of past, of lore of yesterday, I would never have people sign in unless they wanted to. Now it's a requirement. And there's also further instruction on there saying that we do not represent you. So if you ask questions or you give me information about you as a buyer, I have the right and quite frankly, the duty to tell my seller about your story, what you tell me. So my suggestion is be tight-lipped about what you say to a listing agent or whoever's hosting the open house, not because they're seedy underbelly type people, but their job is to protect the seller, not you. You're not being represented by them. So just understand that. So understand if you sign this, you're not being represented. You're not due any course or what have you. If you're working with another agent, this just says that you are here and there's an understanding that the seller and that agent that's there at the open house, whether it's the listing agent or a host, is not representing you. And why is that important? We'll talk about that in a second. Communication at the open house property tour is for the benefit of the seller. You might want to go and look at a lot of different homes, and granted, that's your prerogative, that's your option. But if you're going to do it with open houses, there's going to be something for the seller to get out of it, and that's that information that you might give up. Communication with the agent is not confidential. Any information the visitor reveals to the agent at the open house may be conveyed to the seller. Maybe. If a visitor writes an offer on the property through that agent, at the time the agent will disclose if the agent or agent's broker represents the seller exclusively or both the seller and the visitor. There's agency forms that you're going to have to fill out. And if a visitor wants to be represented by that agent holding the open house, they need to sign a representation agreement. If visitor is in an exclusive relationship with another agent, this is not intended as a solicitation of a visitor, of that visitor. So understand that there's no commitment at all with this form. This is just saying that a declaration saying that the host, whether it's the listing agent or another agent, is just representing the seller to the best that they can to sell that house. No way, shape, or form are they representing you as a buyer. Why do they do this? Because of that NAR lawsuit that happened last year. And now we're kind of figuring it out. And will this change? Yeah, this is going to change. Just be prepared that this is going to change. So if you want to read this, I have the link in my blog. You're very welcome to take a look at it. How this affects you as a buyer, we've spoken about before. We'll be talking about this a little bit more as we learn more, as this shakes out, because the buyers are really dealt a bad blow in my opinion, but that's neither here nor there. If you're going to go look at multiple open houses, download this checklist. This no way, shape, or form says that I'm going to represent you. I will call you and say, are you working with an agent? Blah, blah, blah. But if you're interested, download this checklist. And what this does is it allows you to go through every nook and cranny of the house and say if it's in good, poor, or fair condition. And when you're looking at 6 or 7 houses, it allows you to compare and contrast at the end of the day. Because believe me, if there's 105 different things on one checklist and you look at 7 houses, a lot of things will get jumbled. So if you're trying to remember if house 4 has dual pane windows or air conditioning, this checklist will help you do that. There you go. Newport Avenue. This is Willow Glen House of the Week, not my listing. 4-bedroom, 2 and 1/2 baths, 1,959 square feet, built in 1936. Guys, this has been on market for 33 days. Original list price was $2,024,000. Now it's below $2 million. My problem here is that it's not the inside of the house, it's the outside of the house. And remember what I talk about curb appeal? You can see a lot of different things that are wrong with this. Even though it's on a shady, tree-lined neighborhood or street, the foliage in the back has a lot to do with how crazy this house looks. And it looks like a ranch, and it doesn't look like a $2 million house. So when you look inside, it's pretty. It's nice and nice looking. It's updated, painted, new floors. Love the floors. Actually, that looks like laminate flooring. So this is an old 1936 house. It's 80 years old. And it's been updated, but is it worth $2 million? Well, the buyers are saying no. After 33 days, it's still on market, and they had to lower the price. Why? Because they tried to be a market maker. When we sell your house, we want to attract the market. Huge difference, right? We want to go under the list price, under where we think the house is going to sell, to attract as many eyeballs as possible, to get as many people to your house as possible, to make as many offers as possible. And when you overprice it, buyers aren't stupid. Buyers understand. They know. They have Zillow. They have all these different companies that they can look at to see what the value is. And compared to other houses similarly priced in the same square footage, they're going to look at this house versus another house, and they're going to choose the other house because of curb appeal or something. So there's a good example right there. Luxury home of the week, Broadway Street in San Francisco. Now, I'm not a fan of San Francisco, but this one is pretty awesome. 4 bedrooms, again, not my listing. 4 bedrooms, 6 full baths, 4 half baths, 10,000 square feet, built in 1987. But look at that view. That's a $38 million view right there. And the reason why I picked it is because it's right close to the Presidio. Check this out. I mean, you can just walk and have trails and trails and trails and go to the Marina District, but you're in Pacific Heights, and it's just a beautiful little area. So let me see how I can get out of this. There we go. So yeah, let's take a quick look and see what this looks like. Very stately. Wow. Feels like Michael Douglas has been in this house before. The Game, you know, that movie, The Game. It's a good game, good movie. Look at that view from your bedroom. Holy moly. Wow. Yeah. Yeah, that's what happens when you make a lot of money. There you go. If you're thinking about selling your house, drop this inspection checklist into your email. It is a checklist just like the home buyer's checklist, but it goes through and lets you create a honey-do list. No house is perfect. No house is ever perfectly level, square, or plumb. Just understand that, especially this being California. And this allows you to go through and look at switches, plugs, appliances, plumbing, lights, everything. Make sure everything is fixed and ready to go before an inspector comes to take a look at your home, so that you have a nice report. And if you do any repairs, make sure you disclose it. Okay. Nothing super crazy outside of the fact that we're in Santa Clara now over $12 billion in revenue and sales. It's not a record by any chance. 2021 was our record. And last week we did $400 million in sales alone. So it's not that the market's slowing down here, slowing down in other areas in California across the United States, but in metropolitan areas like San Francisco, housing is coming back. It's coming back crazy. Average sales price to list price, original list price to sales price is 7% in Santa Clara County. So keep that in mind when you're looking at a house. If you want to sell a house, you're looking at probably 10% over list price. And when you're working with an agent as a buyer, they're going to show you comparables and tell you what the value of the house really is. There you go. All right. I'm Vito. I'm Vito with Abitano. Thanks for watching. We'll see you out there.